Today we've learned authorities in the Netherlands are not pursuing charges in her case. Todd said she'd been blackmailed by an online predator after posing topless in front of a webcam. Her death made international headlines and spurred a huge anti-cyberbullying movement. Last year, Dutch police arrested a man named Aiden Coben. He's been charged now with 9 offenses related to child pornography and indecent assault in cases similar to Todd's. But those all had to do with Dutch victims, and Dutch prosecutors now confirm Coben won't be charged in any cases outside the Netherlands. He is facing charges here in Canada, which include internet luring and harassment, and extradition is a possibility. Mark Kelley investigated this story at length for the Fifth Estate and joins us now on this story, including reaction from Amanda Todd's family. But first, let's wind it back a little bit and tell us about this Aiden Coben and his connection to Amanda Todd's case.
Yeah, well, certainly he made headlines around the world when he was arrested by Dutch police in January last year. As you mentioned, he's facing 9 counts in Holland. What we would learn, what eventually learn about him as we were investigating this story is that, in fact, Facebook had been investigating this man as well. It's believed, that, according to their investigation, that he was operating some 86 accounts where he would impersonate other people. There were as many as 75 victims in countries around the world, including Canada, United States, Great Britain, and some other countries in Europe. Now, what is emerging from this picture is that Dutch authorities have decided instead to focus on the Dutch victims, because there are several in that country as well, rather than pursue the international victims, which would include any relationship to Amanda Todd. And in some ways, that does make sense, because there has been some concern that there could be a double jeopardy at play here. As you mentioned, he's facing 5 charges here in Canada. They didn't want to try him on these charges, which he would eventually face here in Canada if he is indeed extradited.
So then let's bring it round to the case that involves Amanda Todd. What does it mean for the charges here, and what is her family saying?
Well, her family says that this was no surprise to them, because they were aware as well of this possibility of a double jeopardy. They didn't want to be acquitted of these charges in Holland and then not be able to face them here in Canada. So they weren't too shocked by this. BC Crown insists that it's still investigating the case. We have a source that tells us that Facebook is still helping the BC Crown prosecutors investigate the case against him if he were to be extradited to Canada. Now, the Canadian authorities, though, have said that they want to wait to see the outcome of this trial in Holland, and this could take another year before he actually does face trial. He's been held in detention awaiting that trial. So they're not too concerned about that. They didn't expect the charges would be laid, but they are certainly hoping that he will one day be extradited to Canada. Whether that happens really is in the hands of the federal government when they eventually see what happens to him when he does face trial in Holland.
Thanks, Mark.